Convenience stores, hey, we're all familiar with them. They dot the landscape, they're all over. Well, what happens if somebody gets injured on the premises of a convenience store? Is the convenience store at fault? Well, that takes us to this week's case. It involved a case that arose in the state of Mississippi, and it was a convenience store with gas pumps. Fellow was there. He's been getting gas in his car when a fight broke out between two customers, a pretty violent fight. This guy, trying to be a good Samaritan, stepped in, tried to break up the fight, and lo and behold, one of the customers pulled out a gun and shot him to death. Well, his wife and his other heirs brought claim against the convenience store, saying it's your fault, it happened on your property. Now, often we hear those kinds of claims being made. It's your fault because it happened on your property. Well, that isn't necessarily so. This case went forward, went all the way up to the Mississippi Supreme Court. And there, the Mississippi Supreme Court looked at this and they said, okay, this is an unfortunate situation. It's very bad news. But the heirs who are bringing claim are contending that the convenience store erred. Well, we have to ask the question, what did the convenience store do wrong? The heirs said, well, the convenience store knew something of this nature could happen because they had a 24-hour operation. They know people were out there. They knew that a lot of people in Mississippi carry guns, and therefore they knew that something of this nature could occur. The question that was asked is, but was there foreseeability? And the convenience store and their attorneys argued there was no foreseeability. We had no knowledge something of this nature would happen. It's not happened before. We had no indication of this, and therefore there is no reason for us to have security guards out there. The heirs were arguing there should be security guards. These guys were arguing, no, we didn't need to have security guards because there was no history of this. There was no foreseeability that this was going to happen. Well, it was a situation where you knew violence could break out. I mean, in the middle of the night, some guy might be pulling up, he might be drunk, the bar is closed, whatever else, you could have a gun, things could happen. The argument on the side of the convenience store was, well, no. There was no history and there was no violent atmosphere. It's not like this, or there was a shooting range next door. It's not like we were selling guns at the store in the middle of the night. It's not like we were engaging in some kind of crazy activities that got people all hopped up and created violence. No, there was no atmosphere of violence, and therefore, we had no foreseeability, and we didn't produce any kind of a situation that would promote violence of this nature. Well, Mississippi Supreme Court heard all these arguments and they came away and said, hey, convenience store, you're right. You're right. You are not liable for this unfortunate shooting because, one, there was no foreseeability, and two, there was no atmosphere of violence. Based upon that, we find there is no liability with the convenience store, and heirs, you're out of court. End of case. Well, we bring you this case as we bring you cases every week so you understand how the law works, give you some insight as to how the law reasons to the decisions that are made, decisions that affect the people that come before the courts looking for justice, and decisions that make an impact upon how you and all of us basically go about life. We do this so you understand the law and make the law work for you. I'm David Allen.